If you're a leader or a founder running a team of 10 to 150 people and you feel like the bottleneck in your business, this training will show you why that's happening and exactly how to fix it. I'm Adam Bauer, and for the past 20 years, I've partnered with leaders all over the world, including spending 7 years leading the cultural transformation of one of the biggest reinsurance companies in the world with a 37.3 billion euro balance sheet. And here's what I've discovered. It's not your team that's the problem, it's your leadership style that's suffocating their performance. And the data proves it. Let's paint a picture together. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You're running from meeting to meeting, your inbox is exploding, your days are consumed by firefighting and avoiding landmines, managing interpersonal issues. You've become the bottleneck. Every decision, every piece of knowledge, every validation is sent upstream to you while your team waits for your approval, second-guessing themselves. And honestly, you're frustrated because they don't seem to care as much as you do. And you can't trust them. The worst part, these problems don't stay at work. They follow you home. They crawl into bed with you. They're the first thing that you think about when you wake up. They're all consuming. You see, you've created this cycle and it no longer serves you. When you're going home exhausted, looking for answers in all the wrong places, like the bottom of a bottle, or doom scrolling until all hours, that low energy, that low trust, it spills into your family life. It's a poison. Something has to change when you're too tired, too distant to be the parent, the partner, the friend that you want to be. And here's what nobody's telling you. If you're feeling like your life is slipping away like this, that's multiplied through your team too. You multiply that negative energy, you're the energy gateway, perhaps even the source. See, you're responsible for your team's energy too. And yeah, leadership's hard, especially when deep down you're carrying this secret. You've been built up to be this all-knowing, all-seeing, all-doing leader, but inside feel like an imposter. You're terrified you're going to be exposed for not having all the answers. And if you're honest with yourself, it feels lonely. Because when you have to project this constant aura of control and certainty, you have no one to confide in. The only place that gets you is a place of professional isolation. But deep down, you know there must be something more to life, to business, to leadership. And here's the truth. What got you here is not going to get you further. There comes a point where you have to ask yourself, am I getting in my own way? And what do I want to be known for? Because your reactive leadership style is suffocating performance. The data proves it. But yes, there's good news here. I believe in you. You can choose to walk a different path. You do have what it takes, and I'm here to make sure you're not walking forward alone. So it's no secret, the more effective you are, the better your performance. Stronger leaders get better results. And research has been done on 125,000 leaders worldwide through something called the Leadership Circle. Their assessment found something shocking. 70% of leaders plateau at what's called reactive leadership. When you're operating from this sphere, you're controlling, you're protecting and pleasing. And those leaders, their effectiveness scores plateau at 40%. But the 30% who operate in creative leadership, their effectiveness jumps to about 65 or even 90%. Let me say that again. Reactive leaders plateau at 40% effectiveness. Creative leaders consistently achieve 65% to 90% effectiveness. That's not a small difference. That's a difference between suffocating performance and unleashing potential. That's a difference between your team plateauing and multiplying results exponentially. I'm not overreacting here. That's like investing $100 and being okay with the maximum of $40 getting results. Eating a delicious meal and choosing to limit your taste buds to experience only 40% of what's possible. It's like playing a video game, whether it's Call of Duty, FIFA, The Sims, whatever you want to play, whether it's you or your kids, your experience points are only worth 40%. And whilst the person beside you gaming, they seem to have cheat codes on. Guess what? They don't. It's simply the way that they're choosing to play the game. And here's what nobody tells you. You can't think your way out of reactive leadership. You need a system. And that's why I created the Lead with Community system. It's built on a simple formula. Connection times safety times drive times energy equals community. When any of these buckets are zero, you get nothing. Zilch. But when the four are filled, you and your people thrive. You unlock collective intelligence, you accelerate meaningful change, and impact becomes self-sustaining. This is what I call the ultimate performance multiplier. So let me break down each bucket. We start with connection, genuine human bonds that go beyond roles and titles. Connecting people to purpose, to each other, to their leadership identity, and who they want to be. We work at 4 levels, all at the same time. The individual level, the team level, the organizational level. Then we follow purpose to where it makes the most impact in society. See, here are some of the themes that came out of a coaching experience I created for 45 leaders in Cologne. As humans, we're wired to connect. It doesn't just feel good. Connection creates possibility. We then move to safety. This is about building high psychological safety where robust conversation and vulnerability can flourish. The data's crystal clear. The safer people feel to speak up and bring their whole selves to a conversation, the higher the team's performance. Without it, there's no creativity, no innovation, no diversity in action, no collaboration, no trust, and no enjoyment. And there's certainly no fun. And then we have drive. It's not enough to just be connected and safe, or you'll sit around singing Kumbaya. I guess you don't want that, do you? What you need here is collective alignment around shared purpose, inspiration, momentum, so you're moving forward, building together. Most leaders miss the simplest yet most powerful way to create a collective sense of drive. It's about both inclusion and co-creation. I was the coach for a council of 35 international senior leaders. 2 years into that journey, I sat down with the sponsor on the group's executive committee, and I asked her, "What do you wish you had learned sooner?" Her response was all about this drive bucket. "I wish I knew it wasn't simply about the destination. It's about how you get to the destination together. Because when you trust people and when you do it together, you always end up at the right destination. When you co-create the way forward, everyone learns together. They feel this sense of ownership. And that's just so critical for both leadership and community to thrive." These words that you see now, they're all captured from a transformational session in the US. They show you what's possible when people connect to collective drive. When we look at this final bucket around energy, I'm at risk of sounding like Captain Obvious. Because if you've burned out, you have nothing to give. When we're looking at this bucket, we identify and we eliminate the hidden drains on your team's collective energy, and we focus where it matters most. But here's the thing. If one of these buckets is leaking, your entire system breaks down. You can't just fill one. You need to fill them up systematically. And when you do, kaboom! Magic happens. Your team becomes autonomous, your results multiply, and you can finally get your life back. Think of it like building a fire. What makes a fire burn? It's a spark and oxygen. It's the space between the logs. Right now, you're suffocating that flame. You're packing the logs too tight, trying to control everything. But when you create the right space and fill up the 4 buckets, the spark spreads like wildfire. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. I've created an illustrative case study based on the Lead with Community system methodology. It shows you what's possible. So imagine a tech company. Let's call them Innovate Tech. 150 employees experiencing all the symptoms. Project delays, low morale, losing key talent. So when we diagnose the problem using the Lead with Community system, the connection's low. Teams are in silos, safety compromised. People hesitant to speak up, drive was fragmented, there's conflicting priorities, energy is depleted, and everyone's simply burnt out. But here's what the transformation could look like. We work in phases. In that first phase, we work with the marketing team. 12 people, 1 full day together using the Spark package. Now, researchers have quantified the business impact at about $7,500 and 7 lost work days for every difficult conversation that isn't held. So imagine we bring these people together. We do have the difficult conversations. I'm going to be conservative and assume that we have a 5% productivity uplift as a result. That's worth about $48,000, an illustrative ROI of 586%. Now for phase 2, we work with the product development team lead. She leads 20 people, and we use the leadership circle 360 process to show her exactly where her reactive, controlling style is suffocating psychological safety. The potential result, 25% reduction in project delays, worth $80,000. We also prevent the departure of a senior engineer, saving $60,000 in turnover costs. The illustrative return here, $140,000 and an ROI of 977%. For phase 3, we work with the 7-person senior leadership team using our full transformation package. The potential result, it wouldn't be that hard to imagine, a 5.6% company-wide productivity increase, a 25% retention improvement, plus innovative revenue from new products created in a psychologically safe work culture. The potential return here, over $406,000. That's an ROI of 1,212%. And this compounds year after year. It illustrates what happens when you systematically fill up those 4 buckets. Now here's what I'm inviting you to understand. This is not about working harder. It's also not about doing more. And it's certainly not some rah-rah team building day that creates a sugar high that's going to disappear by Monday. It's also not about adding a bunch of optional extracurricular activities to your already swamped diary or trapping you in some timeshare style presentation. This is about diagnosing which of your 4 buckets is leaking and systematically filling them up one by one through intensive coaching, pivotal team experiences, and giving you data-driven feedback. And together, doing the change you need in a way which deals with your biggest challenges head on. This is what most people miss about community. It's a verb. It's not just a noun or a feeling, even though it is those things too. We have to do community together. But I'm not your typical consultant. I'm not going to drain your time. What I will do instead is ask you powerful questions and share impactful stories about real people, the kinds that help you make observations and invite you to wonder so you can see, think, and act differently. Because I'm the community coach. I believe in you and your team. You have all the answers. You just need the right space, the right conversation for your capacity to open up and your leadership to grow. I loved facilitating these conversations for leaders like you in France. Not just because they were held in these big, beautiful chateaus and I was fed copious amounts of cheese, but you see, the French called me an animator of conversation. Just like my mum, who when I was a kid, she worked for Disney. I used to watch her in awe as she animated, bringing these big, beautiful moments to life frame by frame. I'm not prescribing solutions here. I'm bringing what's already there to life. And I won't give you an expensive, difficult to execute strategy and disappear, leaving you alone. I build the system with you, coaching both you and your team together, because you can't transform one without the other. But the question is, how many more weeks are you willing to let go by, feeling stuck? How many weeks for you and your team? Here's what the typical life looks like on one page. How many more of those dots representing weeks of your life are you willing to sacrifice? How many more are you willing to let slip by? It's time for you to make a decision to get more out of life. At work, at home, everywhere in between, not just for you, but for your team, your family, and everyone you're connected to. So, if you're still watching, I know something about you. You're a leader who feels this glimmer, this sense of hope, this feeling that there must be something more, a more human, meaningful, and impactful way to lead. But the spark is being smothered by fear. Fear of losing control, fear of being exposed, fear of becoming irrelevant, but most of all, fear of not knowing what to do next. But here's the truth. You don't need to fear the unknown. You don't need to carry this alone anymore, and you can leave this heaviness behind you for you and your team. The Lead with Community system has 3 package tiers ranging from $699,000 to $30,972. Each is designed to meet you where you're at and spark the change that you need. But before we talk about packages, we do need to have a conversation. Simply because I can serve you best if I understand you and your specific situation. Which of your 4 buckets is leaking, what's keeping you stuck, and most importantly, whether this system is right for you. That's what the Leadership Clarity Call is about. It's free, it's 45 minutes, and by the end you'll have complete clarity on what's holding you back and exactly how to fix it. My clients also appreciate starting the process with a quick 15-minute connect beforehand to ensure you're ready and open to that call so you get the most out of it. We only work with leaders who are open to change, open to feedback, action, and accountability, and we only take on a few new clients each month. So if you're ready to stop suffocating performance and ready to start unleashing potential, click the button below and book in the quick 15-minute connect. Let's start sparking this change together. I'm Adam Bauer, and I'll see you on the call.